It's Mrs. McCoy. Welcome back to another week of Library at Home. I hope you all are doing awesome. I'm really excited to share this book with you this week for a couple of different reasons. Number one, it is a true story about real people who've done something super cool. It's called Farmer Will Allen and the Growing Table. And this is a book about urban farming and urban gardens. Urban means in cities or suburbs or bigger towns. And gardening and farming, obviously, you know what that means, growing plants, and specifically growing plants for people to eat. Now, this book shows what one person did to help supply food to a certain neighborhood. And his big thing that he talks about, Will Allen, he says he wants people to see what he's done and realize that they can do the same thing at their own homes. Maybe you live in an apartment and you don't have any outdoor space. That was my old house, was a little apartment, and I didn't have a yard or anything. Farmer Will Allen says you can grow plants there. You can grow food there. Maybe you have a big backyard, but you're not sure where to start with planting things. Maybe right now, since we're all at home, a lot of people are looking for things to do around their house, things that are productive, that can make something awesome. And gardening and growing vegetables and plants that we can eat is a great way to do that. So we're going to read this book together. It is an ebook available on Epic. So if you have an Epic account, you can read it yourself as well or have it read to you there. And after we read it, we're going to together watch a quick video of an interview with Will Allen and a tour of his urban farm. So that'll be pretty cool. And then the other thing I'm super excited about is that this week, to go along with this library lesson, Mrs. Reinhardt has some STEM lab activities that have to do with urban gardens and with planting your own seeds and your own food. So after you watch this video, and after you get the tour of Will Allen's urban farm, I would love for you to head over to Mrs. Reinhardt's website. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video. And if you head over there, you're going to find other activities that you can do in real life at your house based on what you've learned in this book. So I hope that you guys like that, a little collaboration between library and STEM lab. So let's get started. Farmer Will Allen and the Growing Table. I'm going to pop over to Epic and move myself up here a little bit so you can see the book. Awesome. Farmer Will Allen and the Growing Table by Jacqueline Briggs Martin and illustrated by Eric Shabazz Larkin. Farmer Will Allen is as tall as his truck. He can hold a cabbage or a basketball in one hand. When he laughs, everyone laughs, glad to be in his crew. When he talks, everyone listens. But some say the special thing about Will Allen is that he can see what others can't see. Are they right? When he looked at an abandoned city lot and saw a huge table heaped with food, was he right? When Will Allen was a boy, bowls of peas, greens, and his favorite, lima beans with ham, covered the kitchen table. My mother often fixed enough food for 30, Will says. We never had a car or a TV, but we always had good food. He remembers people who'd come to dinner tired and drooped and leave laughing. Will's family grew most of their food. Will loved the food, but hated the work. He planned to quit on planting, picking, pulling weeds, leave those Maryland fields for basketball or white shirt work. And he did. He graduated from college and moved to Belgium to play professional basketball. When a Belgian friend asked him to help dig potatoes, Will realized he loved digging in the dirt. He grew so much food that he and his wife Cindy covered their kitchen table with Thanksgiving dinner for a whole team of basketball friends. When Will was done with basketball, he worked a white shirt job in Wisconsin and found time to grow vegetables on Cindy's parents' land. But Will wanted his own place. He'd seen that fresh vegetables were as scarce in the city as trout in the desert. Will believed everyone, everywhere, had a right to good food. But how could Will farm in the middle of pavement and parking lots? One day, driving in Milwaukee, Will spotted 6 empty greenhouses on a plot of land about the size of a large supermarket for sale. He could see kids who had never eaten a ripe tomato, never crunched a raw green bean, sitting at his table, eating his vegetables. Will Allen bought that city lot. Will had a start on his table. He had the land, but the table was empty. The problem was Will's soil, dirty with chemicals and pollution. He had no money for machines to dig out the bad soil or for truckloads of good soil. What to do? In Belgium, Will had learned how to make good soil with food garbage. They called it composting. But he needed lots of garbage. He asked his friends to save their food waste, apple peels to old zucchinis. Will collected those scraps in big white buckets and dumped them into piles. He added hay, leaves, newspapers, red wiggler worms, water. Every now and then, he turned the piles to get air into the mix. Neighborhood kids stopped by to ask what he was doing. Will told them about the piles and the red wiggler worms that would help the garbage become compost. The kids came back day after day to help. Then one day, bad news. The red wiggler crew was dying. Will and the kids studied worms for 5 years. They learned not to feed the worms too much. And they discovered the best menu for red wigglers. No hot peppers, onions, or garlic, lots of watermelon rinds, sweet potato scraps, molasses. Since then, the squirmy crew has stayed hard at work. Will says worm magic is what makes his farm grow. Once Will had good soil, he was ready to plant vegetables. But he didn't have much space. How could he grow enough food on a small city plot? Will Allen looked around. He saw that he had all the space from the soil under his feet to the top of the greenhouses. He hung plant baskets from the ceiling. He grew green beans in buckets, greens in rows. He crowded shelves with pots of spinach, chard, lettuce. He grew stacks of tiny salad sprouts in boxes, hundreds of boxes. Will added hoop houses to hold more boxes and long rows of vegetables. He added vats of water and fish to his greenhouses. Fish wastewater grows the sprouts. The sprouts clean the water for the fish. Fish, water, sprouts work together like a 3-part farm machine. He added goats, chickens, turkeys, and bees to that city farm he named Growing Power. Farmer Will's work clothes are jeans and a blue sweatshirt with cut-off sleeves. He's busy from early morning to night. Still, one person could never grow all the food Will wanted to grow. Where could he find more farmers in the middle of the city? Will Allen looked around. He saw teenagers, school children, parents, grandparents. He taught them all to be farmers. Then Will's table held as much as several supermarkets, thousands of pounds of food. Neighbors who live in high rises far off the growing ground came and still come to Will's farm to buy fresh vegetables, fish, or eggs. People have gone and still go to fancy restaurants to eat Will's food. But Will wanted his table to feed folks all over the world. How could he build one huge table that crossed continents? Will thought about the problem of the world sized table. He looked around and saw his many helpers who had learned to be farmers. He would teach people everywhere to grow food for their own tables. Will Allen began to travel. He has crisscrossed the United States, showing others how to farm in the city. And he has taken his red wigglers to Kenya, to London, all over the world. The world has also come to his Milwaukee farm. 20,000 visitors a year tour the greenhouses, watch goats, snack on greens, and go home planning to start a farm on a city lot, a rooftop, or an abandoned highway. Is Will Allen done? Never. We need 50 million more people growing food on porches, in pots, inside yards, he says. Will is always looking for new ways to make the table bigger. More schoolyard plots, a vertical farm that's 5 stories high, farms in empty factories or warehouses. Will Allen dreams of a day when city farms are as common as streetlights and every table is covered with good food. Will Allen can see what others can't see. When he sees kids, he sees farmers. Will you be on Will Allen's crew? Will you grow vegetables for your family, your neighbors, on your porch or roof or yard? How big will your table be? And that's a little more info about Will Allen and his farm. That's Will right here. And we're going to see him right now. We're going to take a tour together of his farm. So let's take a look. Let's check it out.
Maybe our window for change in things like global warming is short, but looking at a model like this, it's inspiring because we're working to help humanity here, but we're also working here to help the planet. And that's something that's kind of oftentimes put as a duality, but here we can do both.
I made a really strong commitment that anybody who walks through that door, I would take them on a tour of our facility. Come on in, you guys. So the key to this type of production that we're doing is to use every bit of space you have. This is high-valued space. 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 7 levels we have in some of the greenhouses. So you're taking 3,000 square feet of horizontal space, and you're turning that into 5,000 square feet. So this is farming, we believe, of the future.
You can take a look at a variety of the different things we're doing here that are unique from other farming models. And one of that is the fact we're growing in the city.
You get the diversity of being in the city and having a piece of the country all mixed into one.
We have everything set up east to west, south to north. We're using the sunlight, we're using our natural environment to house this place.
Most of the food that's shipped into this community, probably more than 99% of the food that is consumed is brought in from far away.
Growing food in California, Mexico, all these places, and then shipping it to Milwaukee, you're wasting energy. You can also look at the fact we're not using farm equipment. I mean, we use shovels and wheelbarrows, but the fossil fuel investment in that's pretty minimal. We're empowering people rather than equipment.
You have to look at agriculture in a different kind of way. It has to be very integrated ag system that you create. It has to have renewable energy. So this is the reality of what urban agriculture really should look like.
I definitely think this model could be replicated all around the world. People have been doing this forever. I don't think it's new. It's just something that we're learning about and like, wow, why didn't I think of that? It's so simple. It's back to the basics.
It impacts everybody and shows people that you can do something just with 3 acres. You can make an impact. Just gotta get your hands dirty. You gotta get into it and actually do it.
So this is what we want people to do. Come here, get inspired, and say, I can do that. Leave here and say, I can do that.
So that was a little video about urban agriculture and what Will Allen is doing. I thought that was super cool. I thought it was really interesting that system that they have with the fish and the water and the greens. Each part of that, each component working together. The plants clean the water for the fish. The waste from the fish is fertilizer for the plants. I thought that was really, really cool. Um, do you guys think if you look around your yard or your balcony or even just the windowsill in your kitchen, do you think there's a way for you to maybe start growing some food at your house? Do you think that's a possibility? If you think so, or even if you're not sure, if you don't think so, check out the link to Mrs. Reinhardt's STEM lesson for this week. She's going to give you some tips and some steps that you might be able to follow with stuff you already have around your own house. All right, friends, thanks for joining me for Library Time this week. I hope you are all doing well, growing your brains, keep on reading, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.